Zero years. The motion of the House has been set out. The weakness of the political structure is the main obstacle to economic development. Our teenagers will perform and you will enjoy. So, I would like to request for the motion and against the motion. The debaters, please come on the stage and take your seat. First of all, for the motion.
Of the speakers on the motion on Javed Tanzim.
Good morning to all. How strong or weak the backbone of a country's economy is determined by how undeveloped a country is. We have to establish ourselves as a developed countries by enriching the economy in some ways. This is a global issue. The whole world is constantly thinking about these issues. We have to find out the possibilities, problems, and solutions now. Thank you, Honorable Moderator, for giving me the opportunity on the stage of today's debate competition. The topic of today's debate competition has been set as the weakness of the political structure is the main obstacle to economic development. Honorable Moderator, respected judges, my opponents, and everyone on the stage. Please take my religious greetings. Assalamu alaikum. Honorable Moderator, the topic of today's debate is global issues. It is not just in Bangladesh-centric issues, but an international issues. I'm passing as the first speaker of the opposition team. I would like to define this topic. Honorable Moderator, if we analyze this topic, we get several words and word groups. For example, number 1, political structure. Number 2, weakness, and the suffix "e" has been added to it. Number 3, economic development, and the number 4, main obstacles. That is the topic is being divided into 4 parts. First of all, what do you mean by political structure? The phrase political structure is widely used and a common concept in political science. It is related to various institutions, groups, control of something and law. In a general sense, political structure means the system in which a country or state runs or is running. Honorable Moderator, one thing needs to be mentioned here. If the political structure is strong, then it is possible to formulate a beautiful, balanced constitution. Now, let's come to the topic of weakness. The word weakness is very negative. It means deficiency or deficiency of something. It can be in different areas. Number 3, economic development. Although there are different opinions on the issues of economic development, as a result of structural changes in oil growth, national income increases, per capita income increases, and the standard living state improves. It is called economic development. And the last part, main obstacles. The word main obstacles means a serious obstacles that severely damages something and it does not allow to move forward. It stagnates. Stagnation of something means backwardness. Honorable Moderator, to put the topic of today's debate in one word, it can be said that the weakness of the political structure is the main obstacle to economic development of a country. Honorable Moderator, we think that if the political parties of a country are not strong, then the country lags behind in all aspects of economic affairs. That's why the economic clock strikes 12. That is why my team and I am standing in favor of today's issues and say the weakness of the political structure is the main obstacle to economic development. Thank you, Honorable Moderator. Thank you all. Thank you, Honorable Moderator. Honorable Moderator, there is a common proverb in Bangladesh: the more educated a nation is, the more developed it is. Honorable Moderator, mean by this proverb, the more advanced a nation in the world is in education, initiation, and knowledge, the more developed that nation is. The current world is an era of revolutionary progresses in the field of education. Your country must be developed and enriched with the power of talent. Anyway, the debate is going on. We are debating on the weakness of the political structure is the main obstacle to economic development. Honorable Moderator, Pramod Chaudhary once said in his article, Boipora, the nation who has no knowledge of arts is only for empty. Honorable Moderator, Pramod Chaudhary wanted to make us understand through this line that no nation can achieve economic development without exploring the branches of art, science, knowledge, philosophy, and literature. Honorable Moderator, Pramod Chaudhary never mentioned political infrastructure in his article. So it is clear that lack of education is a main obstacle to economic development. Dear opponents, let's take a look at some of developed countries of this world. Dear opponents, suppose you are in a city or village in Oman, Saudi Arabia, Qatar at this moment. Will you see environment pollution, fight, murders, traffic law violence, etc.? there. Rather, you'll see there a beautiful, clean environment, strict traffic, no fight or murders. Dear opponents, I leave you with a question. Why is there no such a bad situation in Oman, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, like in Bangladesh? Hope you'll provide an answer. Honorable moderator, a surprising fact I am providing, here's a report published in the world-famous Forbes magazine. The report titled on September 2, 2025, Top 10 Strongest Currencies in the World 2025 means Top 10 Currencies in the World 2025. Honorable moderator, the interesting thing is that it says that the strongest and most valuable currency is the Kuwaiti dinar. However, political party activities and party formation are completely prohibited by law in Kuwait. The honorable moderator, panel of judges, respected teachers, dear opponents, vice fellows, please take my greetings. Assalamu alaikum. I'm Nurjahan Chaudhary, the first speaker of against the motion. Honorable moderator, if economic development depends mainly on the political structure, then Bangladesh would be the most powerful economy in the world. Seeing the development of our economy, politicians from all over the world come to this country to get education and training. Yes, honorable moderator, Bangladesh would be the political teacher of the whole world. Honorable moderator, why am I saying this? Because the number of registered political party of this small country is 68,000 square miles is 50.6 more parties have applied for registration. Honorable moderator, despite the strong existence and activities of so many political parties in this small country, our golden Bangladesh is still as a deer in a development paper. Honorable moderator, the strong position of 50, 100, 200 is not a matter for development, but the main matter is education. Yes, honorable moderator, the lack of proper use of education is a main obstacle to economic development. Thanks to honorable moderator, thanks to judges, thanks to all for having with me.
Thank you, Honorable Moderator, for giving me the opportunity. Honorable Moderator, a news item was published in the editorial section of the newspaper Alokito Bangladesh on October 26, 2024. The headline was Vengeance and Political Malpractice are Major Threats to the Development of the Country. Honorable Moderator, this newspaper said about the two major political parties in Bangladesh at that time. Due to vengeance and political malpractice are major threats to the development of the country. The people are just watching helplessly. However, the debate is going on and I am debating on the topic of today's debate has been set as the weakness of the political structure is the main obstacle to economic development. For good reason. My team and I are standing in favor of today's debate. Honorable moderator, respected judges, teachers, audience, and my dear opponents. Please take my greetings. Assalamu alaikum. I am Amun Shah, second speaker for the motion. Honorable moderator, we have taken to this topic very seriously and deeply. The first speaker of my team has defined this topic beautifully. I am adding a little more by weakness of the political structure. We do not mean only the number of parties, rather it is criticism of the mistakes of the activities of various parties, along with pressing good and developmental work. We must also criticize our own party. Only then will the country towards real development. Honorable moderator, documentary evidence of the matter is needed. Let's see some evidence. Daily Pratham Alo, 30 June 2023 news. Forbes lists the world's 10 largest economy. Honorable moderator, it is said that the United States is now the world's largest economy in terms of GDP, followed by China, Germany, Japan, and India. Honorable moderator, my opponent asked a question that how is the Kuwaiti dinar or currency the strongest currency in the world, despite the fact that there are no political parties or activities in Kuwait. Honorable moderator, the main purpose of political parties or activities is the development of the country's economy and overall development. Honorable moderator, my opponent is trying to destroy the existence of the political structure by giving example on the two Middle Eastern countries. Dear opponents, I am answering your question. According to Wikipedia, Kuwait's economy is petroleum-based and Kuwait investment received from petroleum-based. But not all countries in our world have petroleum oil. Some countries do, but in small quantities. Now the question is, what would have been economy in Kuwait if it didn't have huge amount of petroleum? Dear opponents, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Oman, Qatar, those countries develop not because of present or absent politics, but they are a natural resource. Yes, moderator, natural resource. Honorable moderator, according to Forbes magazine, why is the US economy strong? Honorable moderator, it has been analyzed in that the magazine, the US politics and economy are so strong, mainly being strong and well organized with global politics. Honorable moderator, the main goal of any strong structural politics is the development of the country's economy. And this is exactly what happens in the United States. Dear opponent, let's say it again. The weakness of the political structure is the main obstacle to economic development. Thank you, judges. Thank you, honorable moderator. Thanks, everyone.
Good morning. Thank you, honorable moderator. Honorable moderator, economic development is not possible for any country without production.
the more a country and development, the more it produces. Because they are saying that the more you grow, the more you get profit. However, the debate is going on. We are debating on the weakness of political structure, the main obstacle to economic development. The Honorable Moderator present on the stage to conduct fair and just debate. Honorable Judges panel is present, respected teacher, guardians, dear opponents. Please take my greetings. Assalamu alaikum. I'm Adil, the second speaker against the motion. Honorable Moderator, my opponents is trying to say repeatedly in various ways. A country can never be strong economically without strong politics. Honorable Moderator, I'm laughing at the weak argument present in favor of the politics. Because my grandfather, father, teacher, and I have learned since childhood and will continue to learn in future. Education is the backbone of the nation. Honorable Moderator, my opponents is surely said that politics is the backbone of the nation. From today, Honorable Moderator, politics is needed in the world on a diplomatic field. The diplomat country will maintain the strategic relationship of the other country and achieve the interest of the country. Honorable Moderator, this work is possible with the political party or individual, current interim government of the Bangladesh. None of the other advisors, including the chief minister of the country, were involved the political before becoming advisor. Honorable Moderator, I am highly concerned practical issues that are the important component of the 21st century. Technology, yes, Honorable Moderator, without the greatest development of technology, no country can develop in this century. Technology never developed political influences and negative situation. Technology now widely involved in all aspects of human life. Dear opponent, I question to you, what technology do you have for our country, our defense system, and those are that made in domestic technology important? Honorable Moderator, we achieved a secret independence from Pakistan. Tiny explanation 1971. Wait, Bangladesh is still developing its own air defense system, but political party have been in our country since then. Honorable Moderator, every year air defense system equipment over 1,000 crore taka has to be purchased. The real proof of this is that on October 30, 2025, the Delhi Color Control published a news report. The interim government is talking major step to extend the air defense modernize the air force. It is said that 10 Eurofighter will be purchased from Italy and 6129 attack helicopter from Turkey and 23 10Z fighter jets from China. Honorable Moderator, can you imagine how many billions will be needed to purchase those technology? However, since independent our country has had the power to activate the political party, but still this is an economic disaster. So I'm saying that if you accept technology, no politics, that means development, economic development will be very easy. Thank you, Honorable Moderator. Thank you all for having with me.
Thanks to Honorable Moderator for giving floor. The debate is going on. We are debating on the weakness of the political structure is the main obstacle to economic development. Warm greetings and greetings to all the Honorable Moderator, judges, teachers, students, guardians, their opponent, vice fellow mates. Please take my religious greetings. Assalamu alaikum. I'm Cynthia and the team leader for the motion. Honorable Moderator and judges. Today we have to keep our mind that we are not considering politics as a variable, but rather identifying things the fragile and joining of state political dynamics is the main problem. Honorable Moderator, a country's economy can never run without politics. Even if it runs are cruel. Honorable Moderator, I will replace some issue with real and analytical issue, not worse, to see how terrible the consequences of political instability and weakness are for the economy. We have to go back 2024. According to a report of Bangladesh Bureau of Statistics, the per capita income of people of Bangladesh was $2,820. The Daily Prothomalo said now the per capita income $2,820, which is the highest ever. Honorable Moderator, today the end of 2025, February 10, 2025, the same newspaper report says the per capita income decreased by $2,738. The growth rate has decreased. Honorable Moderator, now the question is, why did the per capita income this year compared to last year? The reason for decrease is low production, high imports, almost at the bottom of exports. Honorable Moderator, what would be the main reason for increase in imports and decrease in exports? The answer is very simple. Honorable Moderator, political weakness. Yes, Honorable Moderator, political weakness is the main obstacle to economic development. Honorable Moderator, we have seen that since the beginning of 2024, the innocent students of this country are protesting against the then government. Gradually, the government chose the path of annihilation and killed about 1,400 students or ordinary people. After fact that the Afghan government was forced to flee this country. Honorable Moderator, we call this situation weakness of the political structure. Honorable Moderator, the government should have stood about the welfare of the common people and students, but they did the opposite. As a result, our economy is under great threat from 5 August 2025 onwards. Until another elected party comes to run the country, then our economy is low and overall situation is not be normal. Honorable Moderator, the same situation is with our neighboring country like Sri Lanka, Myanmar, Nepal. Nepal political crisis arose due to massive corruption. As a result, the government of this country failed. Honorable Moderator, the politician destroyed the economy of this country. The same thing happened in Sri Lanka. The country declared itself bankrupt due to weakness of the political structure. BBC Bangla News on 14 May 2022, the same newspaper report says, why did Sri Lanka's economy, the government and politics suddenly pull up? Who fully provide an answer? Thanks to Honorable Moderator, thanks to judges, thanks to everyone for having me.
Thank you, Honorable Moderator, for giving me the chance to deliver my speech. Honorable Moderator, in the 21st century, when the world is instable, none exists, and the country making economical progress by selling air, we're debating politics at the same time. There is nothing but a misfortune for us. Nevertheless, I'm speaking to them for the sake of debate. The topic of today's debate has been selected as the weakness of political structure, the main obstacle to economic development. I'll move the team leader against the motion. I extend my sincere greetings and the best wishes to all present, including Honorable Moderator, judges, teachers, and my dear opponents. Assalamu alaikum. Honorable Moderator, we all know that economic development mainly depends on skilled manpower, and the biggest obstacle to economic development is corruption. Yes, Honorable Moderator, a corrupted economy is like a bottomless pot. Whatever we put in the pot, everything will be lost, nothing will be found. That's why if my opponent had said that corruption is the main obstacle to economic development, I would certainly agree with them. However, Honorable Moderator, obstacles to economic development are associated with many negative factors, corruption being one of them. Honorable Moderator, suppose you're the Prime Minister of our country and essentially had 1 lakh crore taka in 2024, but his secretaries, minister and the employees collectively embezzled 50,000 lakh crore taka. Honorable Moderator, then where will development stand? That's why countries like Bangladesh do not get the real taste of economic development. Honorable Moderator, corruption is a deadly disease for a country. Just like cancer, it kills the roots of every workplace. Corruption also destroys the education system. If the education system is destroyed, there will be no skilled manpower. And if there are no skilled manpower, it will be impossible for a country to make economic development. Honorable Moderator, I'm giving a real example from BBC Bangla. Honorable Moderator, this report was published on 2nd August 25, 2025. In this report, it has seen that the poverty rate has been increased by 27.90% in the last 3 years. Honorable Moderator, many other newspapers also published a similar news. The Pratham said that the poverty rate in Bangladesh has been increased by 28% in the last 3 years. Honorable Moderator, BBC Bangla said that the poverty rate in Bangladesh has been increased about 28% in the last 3 years. Honorable Moderator, all those news published in this regard, almost all of them blame the secretaries, minister, employed, and the private service and the rampant level of corruption of the previous government of the government. Honorable from Daily Pratham 28 lakh crore taka has followed the country in the last few decades. Honorable Moderator, it has been seen on an average 1,80,000 crore taka has followed the country in the last few years. Honorable Moderator, you'll be shocked by the calculation I'll give you now. Honorable Moderator, if only the smuggled money was divided equally between the 200 million people of Bangladesh, every individual people will get an average of 14 lakh taka. Honorable Moderator, can you think about it for a moment? If this was done, Bangladesh would be one of the most happiest countries in the world. There will be no poor or even needy people. Honorable Moderator, I really regret that, because I don't know where my share of 14 lakh taka is. Honorable Moderator, this corruption is not happening only now. Bangladesh has been going on since independence. As a result of our economic condition not developing, it can be easily said that corruption is the main obstacle to economic development. Thank you, Honorable Moderator. Thank you.